If you're thinking about buying the AirPods Pro 2 right now, pause for a second. This might be one of the worst times to pull the trigger. Not because they're bad, they're actually really solid earbuds, but because something much better is just around the corner. The AirPods Pro 3 are coming, and all signs point to a launch in just a few weeks, possibly in September. From redesigned hardware to new health features and AI-powered translations, these upcoming earbuds are shaping up to be Apple's most advanced audio product yet. Let's talk about what makes the AirPods Pro 3 so special, and why it might be a smart idea to hold off for just a little bit longer. A fresh new design. The first thing people are going to notice is the design. Apple is reportedly overhauling both the earbuds themselves and the case they come in. According to reports from Mark Gurman and other reliable sources, this redesign isn't just cosmetic, it's functional. If you've seen the latest for leaks, you already have an idea of what's coming. A smaller, more compact case, more LEDs on the front, and a new way to pair the earbuds just by tapping the back of the case. It's faster, easier, and more user-friendly. For the earbuds, the redesign might focus on comfort and fit. A sleeker shape could make them more comfortable for longer listening sessions, and smaller dimensions may help people with smaller ears finally get a better seal. And if that wasn't enough, there's a rumor that the case itself could include a tiny display, maybe something like a small screen that shows the battery status, your current track, or even the noise control mode. Now, that last part is but speculative, and it might not make it to the final version, but still, it shows that Apple is thinking way beyond simple hardware tweaks, stronger, smarter noise cancellation. Let's face it, Apple used to lead the way in active noise cancellation, but lately, brands like Sony, Bose, and even budget options like Soundcore have caught up or surpassed them. That's why one of the biggest expected upgrades in the AirPods Pro 3 is noise cancellation. And not just any noise cancellation. We're talking smarter and more precise ANC. There's word that Apple is working on a new digital amplifier that will boost noise blocking power. This could make a massive difference for anyone who commutes, travels, or works in a noisy environment. Think about being on a plane and the hum of the engines is barely audible, or walking down a busy street and still hearing your podcast clearly without maxing out the volume. That's what we might be getting with this next-gen ANC. It won't just be brute force either. Apple wants to make ANC that adapts better to your surroundings, so it's not just canceling out everything, it's learning what to block and what to let through in real time. Real-time language translation. One of the more futuristic features rumored for the AirPods Pro 3 is real-time language translation. It sounds like something out of science fiction. You speak in one language, and someone else hears it in another. But thanks to the latest AI breakthroughs, this might be coming sooner than we think. Apple has already laid the groundwork for this with iOS 18 and its new Apple Intelligence Suite. With Siri becoming smarter and more contextual, it makes sense to tie that intelligence into your earbuds. According to leakers, this feature could allow people to have live translated conversations through their AirPods. Imagine traveling abroad, ordering food, asking for directions, or even having a conversation with someone and your earbuds doing the translating. It's a big step forward for accessibility and global communication. And while this feature may not be perfect right out of the gate, the fact that it's being tested is exciting on its own. Apple isn't just trying to make earbuds, they're building a wearable assistant. Meet the H3 chip, the real behind almost every feature we've talked about so far. There's one key piece that makes it all possible, the H3 chip. Apple's custom chips are always a big deal, and this one is no different. The H2 chip in the current AirPods Pro 2 is solid, but it's getting a little old. The H3 is said to be faster, more efficient, and far more capable. It's not just about more processing power, it's about smarter processing. That means better active noise cancellation, better audio balancing, and better handling of things like real-time language translation and voice recognition. One major area the H3 is expected to improve is transparency mode. If you use your AirPods out in the city, you probably know how important it is to hear your surroundings while still listening to audio. The H3 chip could make this mode more natural than ever. Instead of feeling like you're wearing earbuds, it might feel like nothing is in your ears at all until you start hearing rich, clear audio again. Also, smarter power management from this chip could mean better battery life, more features, less drain. The chip is likely built on a more advanced manufacturing process, making it not only faster, but cooler and more efficient. That's especially important if Apple is shrinking the earbuds in the case. A smarter chip offsets the smaller battery with better energy usage. It's like getting more from less. A perfect example of Apple's design philosophy, a health sensor in your ears. Here's one you probably didn't expect, a heart rate sensor in the AirPods Pro 3. It sounds wild at first, but when you really think about it, it makes total sense. Apple has been slowly turning all of its devices into health companions. The Apple Watch already tracks heart rate, blood oxygen, and more. The iPhone tracks your movement. So why not the AirPods? They're already in contact with your skin. And more importantly, they sit inside your ear, which is actually a great place to measure heart rate because the skin is thinner and closer to blood vessels. This feature could be a game changer for fitness fans. You could track your pulse during workouts without wearing a watch. You could even get alerts if your heart rate spikes or drops suddenly. And for casual users, it's just more health info, passively gathered while you go about your day. It wouldn't replace the Apple Watch completely, but it could be a strong enough alternative for people who don't want to wear one. And if it's accurate enough, it could push other audio brands to start taking health tracking more seriously. The sound quality we've been waiting for. If you've been using AirPods for a while, you know they sound good, but not amazing. The Pro 2 made big strides, especially with spatial audio, but the sound purity still lagged behind brands like Sony and Bose. That could change with the AirPods Pro 3. Leakers suggest that Apple is working on a full audio system overhaul. We might see a larger driver or even a two-way speaker design. That means one speaker for bass and mids and another for treble. In simple terms, it would make music sound fuller, more detailed, and more immersive. The bass would hit harder, the vocals would be clearer, and the highs would sparkle more. This is a huge deal for people who care about audio quality. Apple is already great at tuning sound through software. If they add better hardware to the mix, the result could be earbuds that finally rival full-sized headphones in terms of soundstage and clarity, all while keeping the AirPods' signature sleek design. It also helps that the H3 chip will likely process audio smarter and more efficiently. So, even if the physical speakers stay small, the signal coming through them will be richer and more refined.